so it's time for the best segment in all of sports television. Let me get you caught up to speed. Last night, in a dank apartment above a defunct apothecary that now sells small batch bourbon and mittens from the Catskills, a group of football luminaries debated, toiled, and burned that midnight oil to concoct the best and most definitive segment in all of sports television. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Thank you, Kevin Wildes.
That was
You did a
fantastic.
great job, which
great.
is why I'm so sad to deliver this news. Before we reveal the tiers, because of these great introductions, you, Kevin Wildes, are a minor celebrity amongst the committee. And as you know, we had an opening from a few weeks ago. And just last night, as we were debating whether or not to formally invite you to the committee, you sent out the tweet heard around the world where you quote tweeted Fox Sports' power rankings
synergy
as a way to discuss who the Patriots had and hadn't beaten. If you had just waited one more day and could have quote tweeted the tiers. Well, so
I learned my
invitation not sent and would have been rescinded. Now to the tiers. Bottom of the tiers, waiting on next year. Unfortunately, the Panthers, they don't even have their pick next year, but they're waiting on next year already in the development of Bryce Young. These other three teams all thought they could be in the playoffs. Instead, they are all watching Caleb Williams tape. Next, tough to watch, just for various reasons. For the Vikings, it's like, how are they going to somehow have 500 yards of offense and lose? For the Titans, it's because I really think Vrabel just watches a different game from 1977 each week. It's like, that's the game plan we want this week. It's very hard to win that way. The Raiders, it's Josh McDaniels being down 8 and being like 3 field goals away, boys. For the Giants, we know why. And for the Patriots, of course, we know why. Tough to watch. And, wear your cups, gentlemen. Next, Sneaky Frisky. I enjoy watching all these teams. Josh Dobbs, well-traveled neuroscientist, also good quarterback. C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans kicking butt. And Puka Nacua, put Puka on the field in the second half. Rams, you could have won that game. Good record, average team. All these teams are 2-1. None of them are what I would call good teams. They all have things to build on. For the Colts, they need to get Anthony Richardson back. The Saints have not allowed 20 points in 12 consecutive games. They just don't have an offense. The Falcons spent 3 top 10 picks on skill position guys. Forgot they need a quarterback. The Bucs have some offensive line issues, and the Washington Commanders quarterback has been sacked 19 times. I don't think that's sustainable. Bad record, good team. Bengals, Chargers, Jags, Steelers. All of these teams have reasons to believe if they shore up one specific thing, they could make some noise late. For the Bengals, it is, of course, the injury to their quarterback. For the Chargers, it is, of course, some of the coaching decisions. For the Jags, it's the defense, and it's the Steelers, it's their passing game. But I believe all of these 1 and 2 teams are good teams. Larry David, pretty good teams right here. I like them all. I like the Seahawks offense. I like the Browns defense. The Ravens, Packers, Lions, I like their whole teams. I don't think any of them can win a championship, but they're all pretty good. Championship caliber, good everywhere. You could make a strong Super Bowl case for both of these teams. It is hard to find a definitive weakness for any of these teams. And if you were to say, I believe this team's going to win the Super Bowl, with Buffalo, I'd give you a sports almanac and be like, literally impossible. But you could make a pretty good case for it. Great teams, questions at quarterback.
I mean,
What?
I hope that's about Dak.
Some people have questions about Dak Prescott. Turning the ball over, is he just, as Brew would say, a glorified game manager? Some people, I would argue smarter, more handsome people, have questions about Brock Purdy.
No, I don't.
Well done, what? And whether or not, as Brew loves to say, he is at some point going to turn into a pumpkin. However, they are definitively excellent teams with all pros all over the field. The 98 Vikings or the 99 Rams? That is the question for the 23 Dolphins. The 98 Vikings had superstars on offense, were one of the most exciting, fun, high-scoring teams ever. Didn't quite get over the hump, and we thought, well, they're going to be back. And they never got as close as they did that year. The 99 Rams then that year had an even higher scoring, more fun offense, and won the whole damn thing. So that is the question for these Miami Dolphins. And then last but not least, the 07 Patriots in reverse. How about, instead of going undefeated until the last game, going undefeated after after the first game. That's way more fun. Great defense, great offense, great coach, best quarterback we've ever seen. That is this week's Tiers, Coach Mangini.
It is really well done. It's really entertaining. Wildes, I don't think you ever had a shot to be on the committee. Okay. They're just going to find someone else from Kansas City to be on. Some other Kansas City homer. This should just be the Kansas City pyramid.
Only other person.
But I do. Look,
there's
a lot to like about it, and your descriptions are fantastic. But I think you got to move Buffalo up at least 2 spots to be where the Dolphins are, because Buffalo's balance trumps Miami's offense. Oh, wow. And when you look at Buffalo, they're number 1 in the league right now in takeaways, okay? They're number 2 in points. They're number 2 in sacks defensively. They're number 3 in time of possession. They're the 5th least penalized team in the NFL. They just beat up on the undefeated Commanders, where what did Miami do? They beat up on the winless Denver Broncos. Fair. So when you look at it collectively, as good as Miami's offense has been, Buffalo's still 2 in points. Yeah. Buffalo's still 7th in yards. Yeah. But when you look at the other side of the ledger, which I know Nick doesn't like to do and the committee doesn't like to do, there's such strong argument for how good Buffalo's been defensively, and we're going to see that come into play this week.
Okay, so first of all, the committee greatly values defense, particularly this year when the Chiefs have a great one, so I disagree with you. That's first of all. Second of all, I am not doubting that Buffalo has a good defense. As the numbers say they have a great defense, I do wonder how much of that is currently a symptom of Zach Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sam Howell. And so I think that is a fair question to have, is Buffalo's defense going to be closer to 12th than 2nd over the course of the year? And you make a strong point. With that said, I would say the committee at least had the foresight to not put the Dolphins number 1 as they are on literally every power ranking, like the one Wildes tweeted out yesterday. But they're our friends at Fox Sports.
Well, look, you said it's tiers, and several of the tiers have 4 or 5 teams. Yeah. I mean, you really could argue Kansas City, Miami, San Francisco, Philly, and Buffalo all on one tier.
That's literally the most boring idea.
No, but you could argue that. But notice the one team I did not say of that group, Dallas. Oh. Philadelphia and Dallas, at the very least, have to switch places.
Why?
Philadelphia is undefeated after playing. I know it's not, but hold up. They're undefeated against 2 playoff teams out of the 3 that they've played. Dallas has played 1 playoff team from last year and is not undefeated. True. Philadelphia has no clunkers. Dallas obviously just had a clunker. I think Philadelphia is more physical. They are dominating games at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. All right, their run defense is stout. You're not running against them. Dallas, their run defense is suspect. Okay. Quarterback, if you want to say right now, they've been kind of similar, but better receivers in Philadelphia.
That's definitely true.
So neither team's been very good in the red zone, but at least Philadelphia's been better than Dallas. So I think Philadelphia should definitely be ahead of the Cowboys.
I understand the argument. I certainly agree with you on the point of the receivers. And right now, Philadelphia does look like the more, on offense, physically imposing team. I wonder how much of that is because the game we just saw with Dallas, they were without 3/5 of their offensive line. If Philly was in a game without Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, they probably don't look quite as imposing. And I understand that, health is a skill to a degree. I'll be totally honest. You know what it sounded a lot like in the very beginning there?
It sounded like the standings.
One team's undefeated, the other team's not. One team's 3-0.
I thought that was just one part of your argument.
It sounded like typically we lead with the strongest parts of our argument, and it was the standings.
Again, you could have got USA Today, though. I know,
but it's right next to the free orange juice at Ramada Inn, guys. Go pick it up.
Okay, I'm going to move the 49ers up, and I know it's not the standings, but the 49ers have reached this is how mad I get watching the 49ers, because I actually watch everything through Patriots colored lenses. I'm like, what's up with their salary cap? And how can they have so many good players? And it's because, obviously, Brock Purdy's making as much as your local orthodontist, actually less probably. But I'm moving the 49ers up, at least to be even with the Chiefs. I know it's not the standings. 49ers in the regular season, they had the one playoff loss where Brock Purdy had to go to the, hospital afterwards. But since losing to the Chiefs, and that's a good argument.
Losing to who? I wouldn't have put that on the graphic. I would have just said the last.
I didn't realize that.
I mean, what?
Josh, This is kind of like poop in the pool type thing.
and the Chiefs
Small,
blew
but
them
it
out,
ruins
I
the whole
think.
environment. Not great. Anyways, they're 13-0. They're scoring 30 points. They're only giving up 14. Get a lot of turnovers.
Sounds like a great argument for them above just about everyone other than the
Josh,
Chiefs.
we ruined this, dude.
You were rolling.
And by the way,
You were rolling.
And by the way, I want to say something. I don't even want to respond to Wildes because Wildes just had like his put the glove on in court moment. It's like I don't know what you want. He just ruined himself. But America, broadcasters are lying to you. They're not lying to you, but they're misleading you. They keep saying the Niners, except for the Purdy game, have never lost since Christian McCaffrey has started for them. He was on the team in that Chiefs game and played the whole game. He just wasn't on the field in the very first game. So one team has beaten
But he was was he brand new?
He was brand new, and he was getting the ball
got
the
his
whole
jersey
time.
from
He didn't understand the game plan. When they handed him off, he was like, "Which way do I go?" Like, no, he knew what he was supposed to do, and he was effective. But the Chiefs just hung 40 on him, and Jimmy Garoppolo was throwing pick sixes.
All right, coming up next, we're going to do Dame and Giannis, and we're also going to redo that 49ers thing with the
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.